Jerry Gaffner is a local business leader and farmer. And so, Jerry, why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
You bet. So, a lifelong resident of Greenville and grew up, was born in Greenville, grew up through high school, and then I left for a decade. Went to school at Suzanne and I's alma mater, University of Illinois, and spent time in Champaign the 4 years. And I didn't come home on the summers when I was in college. I stayed up there and worked just to get broad base experience. And my major was in agricultural economics. And so then after college, I moved to St. Louis and I worked in business. And it was actually my first job was with a commodity trading company of like whey products and feed products that weren't like corn and soybeans. It was like the one-off type of products, and spent time with that company. And then I got into data processing, and this is before the PC was really powerful. And we had a mainframe computer, and we did all kinds of data processing on a mainframe. And then so lived in St. Louis for 5 years, and met my wife Sherry at what I would call a pre-Facebook Bible study, where it was all singles, and there's like 400 of us. And so Sherry and I were leaders in that, and we were married in St. Louis and spent another year in St. Louis while we were married, and then moved back to Greenville to help take over the family business of farming of corn, soybeans. And back then we had a dairy where we would produce milk on a daily basis. And then since about 15 years ago, we did divest of the dairy. So today the farm itself is corn, soybeans, and wheat.
So you must have went to the University of Illinois a few years before me, because the
Quite a
little
few.
data processing is kind of like right here now.
Oh, I know.
In your hand, you carry it around in your pocket.
It is.
How big was
I struggle with that every once in a while.
If I recall back in the day, the supercomputer at the University of Illinois was like a whole building or something, right?
It was. And the kind of, I don't know if this is folktale or what, but the internet was really concentrated at one of the data processing centers at the University of Illinois. I want to say back in the early 90s, when Mark Andreessen is a big alumni who's out in Silicon Valley. And I know that he was instrumental in that. So it was, yeah,
right here.
You and I both know how much it's morphed.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. So we had a little partnership with the University of Illinois over the past few years. Greenville University and the University of Illinois got together, which are both my alma maters, which
Yes.
has been fun to do a little saliva testing program, believe it or not. I think it was 40,000 tests that we sent to the University of Illinois or something. I don't know. I'm just curious from a community member standpoint, like, and a fellow U of I alum. I don't know. What did you think about that as we went through the last few years of COVID?
Yes. So what was also interesting, while the test was going on here at GU, we have two daughters that were at the University of Illinois doing the tests on a twice a week basis as well. And so we got to hear their experience, as well as see what was happening here on the GU campus. And
it's interesting,
isn't it though? And it's totally two different demographics, right? So you have a university of 40,000 or 50,000 students, and one of 1,200, and one of a more, not really super urban, because Champaign-Urbana is 100,000 people, but compared to 7,000 or 8,000 in Greenville, the data set was incredibly powerful for the university to do their research through. And it was really cool to, as a community member and an alumni, the partnership of both universities. And my family and I are big supporters of Greenville University.
Well, that's great. It's good to hear that the community was, I don't know, proud of the kind of partnership that we had with the U of I. I think it went really well. And you're right. It was two different demographics that allowed them to study like the small sample set, semi-permeable, much more, I don't know, contained, if you will.
Predictable, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
predictable,
Yeah.
and their sample set, and it was interesting. So so in addition to the farming, you also have a little business that you're doing, scooters. And so maybe tell me a little bit about that and why you decided on scooters for Greenville.
Yes. So Scooters Coffee is a franchise brand of specialty coffee drinks and of other drinks as well. And so it was, so actually what's fascinating is as we're recording this, it's March of 2023. And a year ago, Sherry and I did not know for sure that we would have been able to own a scooters yet. We were our oldest son lives in Omaha, Nebraska, where the headquarters is. We were driving through a scooters, and I said to Joan, I said, they're building one of these in Greenville. I wonder, is it good thing? Is it good products? He goes, oh, very good. He goes, who owns it? I said, I have no idea. So that day we placed a call to Scooters Coffee to see who owned it. And what Scooters had done is they had pegged Greenville as one of the markets that they wanted to enter into. They went ahead and purchased the real estate and was developing the footprint, and they then in turn would look for somebody as a local owner. So then Sherry and I really leaned in on that. The Lord had really blessed us like 3 years into this, 3 years of good farm profits. And we were looking at kind of diversifying out of production ag, as well as wanting to do something locally in Greenville to invest in a real niche market that we were not experts in at all. And so we thought, we prayed over it, and it was really fascinating. The doors that were open, and when the doors are open, you walk through it and know that, if there needs to be an escape hatch, the Lord provides that too. But we just went feet first, and really was so blessed to have bought it. And we are 8 months into it. And the great thing about it is we love our team, that we can have a touch point to 20 people that we did not know their names a year ago, and that they are true teammates and partners with us. And the neat thing about it too is we have 4 Greenville University students that are part of our team, and it 2 athletes and then 2 non-athletes, and they are superb people. They are incredibly reliable. Our motto is amazing drinks, amazing people, amazingly fast. And they encompass all 3, not 4, 3 of all of those. And so we are just grateful for the partnership of having a university in our town. And that was a big selling point when Scooters was looking at putting a franchise here. It was when they saw Greenville University, they knew that this would be a good place.
I'm really glad to hear you say that. We've had a theory, and there's really only a few colleges across the nation, 4-year colleges, that are located in a small town, as close as we are, especially. So some of them are located like outside of town, but we're literally located within a block of the town square, right? And
yes.
And so it's a really interesting demographic. And one of our theories was that there could be a sense of rural renaissance whenever you have a small college in a small town, and you have business leaders like yourself that are willing to invest in the town and partner for jobs, and because you have a natural recruitment kind of base built in, that a talent bridge that can help in, especially these times when talent's hard to find. So we have this concept of rural renaissance, that when the city and the private businesses and the campus invest together, that there's really something special that can come out of that. And I think we're really seeing that around town right now. I don't know. What do you think?
Yes, I do. And I think what we have noticed too, and I will also take it to the level of what the faculty brings to our town as well. So we have 5 kids, and the 3 older kids have already gone through high school and have graduated. And while they were in school here, they were friends with all of the university faculty's kids. And what the university has brought to our community, not only an amazing student base, but faculty along with their families that bring such a richness to thought, a richness to depth of character. And so I know our kids, they have lifelong friends that are connected to the Greenville University because their parents taught here or were the past presidents, or what have you. So that, from a community standpoint, from my wife and I and all the community, we are so grateful for Greenville University. The other thing that is unique as well is, I think that when we look at the rural renaissance, I also serve on a board on an electric co-op board. And the thing what we have noticed is there's an opportunity for even a greater rural renaissance because of what COVID exposed to the urban setting, and the ability then to live in a safer rural area that has amenities, that has a cultural base, it has a diversity base, and that has become very attractive. The other thing I will say is we just returned from a 4-day Scooters Coffee Conference. And what Scooters has figured out is investing into smaller rural communities has been the perfect model for them to put these kiosks in smaller rural towns. The paperwork and the red tape is much easier. We ran into individuals who've been trying to cite kiosks in Florida for 3 years, in Arizona for 4 years, and the ability for them to find real estate or have to cut through the red tape, it is just an exhausting process. Whereas the beautiful thing of rural America is the longing for services, the longing for education, the longing for great products and great companies. It's so much easier to get things accomplished. And we have also seen it from the quality of kids that we have hired. So we do have what I would call a subset of high school and college teammates. And then we also have what I would call a more fuller time, where these are maybe mothers that would like to work 25 hours a week and still have a life outside of that are key to our success. And so it's a beautiful blend of a team. And our turnover has been minimal. And it speaks to the character of our community, and also speaks to the character of the young people, because the young people, they're fast, they're creative. We're having a Bob Ross painting party this Sunday, and we had a harvest party where we had a hayride out at our farm. We had a Christmas party, and these are just touch points that Sherry and I have just loved to participate in, and have been so grateful to be able to be investing in Greenville University in Greenville, Illinois, through Scooters.
So do the university students even know who Bob Ross is?
So we have a basketball player, Caleb Carter. He's not interested in going to a Bob Ross party. Jaden Ackerman is very interested, and she's coming. And Abby Thomason is a track athlete, and she is not going to be able to come. And I think it's because she either training or cannot participate. So half and half.
Oh, okay, half and half. A happy little tree
Yes.
participants. That's hilarious. So
I can draw a stick, man. I'm not participating in the painting part of it. I'm participating in the conversational part.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever done a Bob Ross party?
No, I don't even know. I mean, I know who he is, but I don't know what a party would look like.
it's his voice is actually in my mind kind of creepy.
So what do you do?
You shade the tree as it looks from the direction of the east, and it's like, anyway.
So is that what you're doing? You're just doing commentary for the
Yeah,
party
that's what I'm gonna do.
impersonation?
Yeah, for the team. Yeah.
So then you paint like,
Yeah,
I
so he paints. So what happens is it's a video, and he starts, he has a white canvas, and he gives you all the colors, and then you start kind of mimicking what he's doing, and you see how good you are to what he produces. That's the Bob Ross painting party.
this is very interesting.
Yeah.
I have learned something new. I didn't know that
Yes.
was a thing, but it sounds great. It sounds fun.
Team building.
I guess we'll have to try that on campus here with
Yeah.
employees and students.
And what is interesting is baristas in general have 3D minds, and they are creative instinctively, is what we have found. We have drawings all over the coffee shop, and I'm excited to see some of the talent that's going to be exhibited Sunday night.
Wow. Well, I look forward to seeing that. Maybe you can
And
showcase them like
I
on
might have to do that.
social media or something.
Yes.
So you guys happen to be located out by our new gymnastics center, and I know that there's a little bit of a history there with your wife Sherry and our gymnastics program. I think she even claims that she helped get it started and make those connections. I don't know what's your connection there.
Yeah. So Sherry grew up in St. Louis and spent hours and hours at her local gym up in North County in the Florissant area, and has loved gymnastics. Matter of fact, I can tell you that almost every night on her phone, she is watching gymnastics reruns from somewhere, because I hear it, So, and what was very rewarding was that you had invited her to go to the Olympic trials, the gymnastics Olympic trial finals that were held at the Dome in St. Louis. And little did Sherry know, but that was, you were already in the process of thinking about what a gymnastics program can look like at Greenville University. And the beautiful thing that so Sherry and especially Sherry feels connected to your program and did not miss a single home meet. She was at every one of the meets, as well as a lot of community members were there. I mean, that was a beautiful sight to see that many people engaged. We love that the practice facility is right next to us. Matter of fact, we've been out there many times passing out coupons and encouraging them. They had an open house one night, and we were there just encouraging them on. So big fans. And we think the men's and women's gymnastics as a whole, it creates a whole new set. So when I think of a baseball player, I think, okay, I could probably do that. And I did that in high school. So yeah, I can play baseball. There's no way I could do gymnastics. And so you're like, wow, these young people can do that with their bodies, is so cool.
It is cool. Yeah, it's been a blast. And I mean, we did pack the place out at the Farm Heritage Museum, partnered with them to be able to have some home meets, and it was great to see the community show up. Very supportive, and even some stories of just younger people throughout the community who are now engaging our gymnasts through the club, the evening activities, and just a lot of engagement of young girls and boys now with the gymnastics team. So that's been fun.
And to have that, there's another ancillary benefit that that when we talk about the rural renaissance. Mm-hmm. Suzanne, how many small towns in rural America can say we have a gymnastics program for kids?
Mm-hmm. Right. That's led by college gymnasts that are competing, I mean, we're competing against Division I teams, big names like Ohio
Yes.
State, University of Illinois, University of Nebraska. I mean, so it's kind of big time. These gymnasts have like little fan club following. So it's not just like club gymnastics that you'd have in another small town. It's like big time for them.
A real deal. Yes.
Yeah,
I applaud you and your administration for seeing that. And if I'm not mistaken too, what I have read is women's gymnastics for sure is the fastest growing sport that people are so much want to participate in as young people, and just everybody else is just enamored with. I mean, the
yeah.
ratings of women's gymnastics, even on TV and the Olympics, goes crazy.
That's true. It's one of the most popular sports to watch. Bill Hopkins talks about that a lot, our head women's coach. Women's gymnastics really has the entertainment value as well as the, like you said, things that normal people can't do.
Yes. And the art value of it, right? The
Right.
art of them being able to torque and twist and land and know where they are in the air is just amazing.
It is. And with the men's gymnastic, just the strength that's exhibited
Ooh.
is crazy. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so you get to serve on the Smart Experience Institute board. So that's one of our kind of innovative boards where we look at opportunities both near and far. We have Experience Institute in Nashville and one in Dallas. And so you've been part of the kind of sub board of Greenville University that looks at some of these opportunities, and you've gotten to meet some individuals on that board, obviously, and work with some of these startups. I'm just curious from that perspective, what you think about what we're doing in that regard.
So the beautiful thing about it is I've only been on it for a year, and you were gracious enough to invite me to participate. And I didn't know exactly when I said yes what it was about, but fellow friend Ed McMillan was the one who was gracious enough to say, "Hey, you will enjoy it." And I trust Ed with almost everything that any words that he says is like, "Grandfather, yes, sir, I'll do this." And so
I was gonna say, I think he kind of twisted your arm, right?
yeah, but that's an easy twist. So what I have found with that, again, when we look at the gymnastics morphing into a program with GU, having these experience-based curriculum that you and your administration is connecting with in that learning process. So not only do we have music in Nashville, healthcare in Dallas, the equestrian center that is being created here on campus, as well as Toasties and all other numerous other experiences. We know this, that a normal 4-year experience of education by the book, going to lecture, going to breakout, going to office hours, is really it's kind of become not outdated. I don't want to say outdated, but maybe a little less effective, because you hear of all these people going to startups. They won't even finish college. And you can, I mean, story after story in Silicon Valley, these people are leaving universities early to start these experiential type of businesses, of trying something and doing something. And so that's why I think Greenville University is ahead of the curve on this, to have students 1 or 2 years at GU, and then the year 3 or 4, have them start to experience hands-on in real life, doing things that we look behind the curtain a lot, because in essence, going to college is you're learning how to learn, right? And what better way to learn how to learn is when you are being purpose-filled in the areas in which you are going to be long-term involved in. So love being a part of the Smart Center Institute. And I'm just a small little behind the scenes person that can just vision cast with you and vision cast with your team and there are just amazing people on that board to rub shoulders with. Jay Walsh with University of Illinois, Jerry Hood, amazing alumni, and then Steve Ellsworth, great individuals. So thank you for letting me be a part of that.
Well, it's fun to have local people on the board, and then even kind of formerly local in Steve Ellsworth and Jerry Hood. And, then of course, Jay and Jessica.
Yes.
Like from a distance, but it's been great to have that group together. I call you like a founding father of Greenville. I know that's a joke, but
I haven't found too much in my life. Found a bad penny here and there, but
I had to say it because it's so, like, I don't know, you just hear a lot of Gaffners. Now I will say some are Gaffners that are related and some maybe aren't. I don't know how that all
I pretty much hug every one of them.
Oh, okay. So you'll accept them all.
That's right.
But yeah, Gaffner's a big name around here, and so it's good to have that local connection base.
Yes. Well, long term, Lori Gaffner was on your faculty for years, and her husband Alan, alumni and mayor for years as well. So again, we love that our name is not only affiliated with Greenville, but it's affiliated with the university. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm one of 5 kids, and all 5 of us took classes at Greenville University at some time or another.
Well, great. You're very familiar with the campus and the culture. And like you said, I just think, these longtime historic families that have contributed to the community in just so many ways. That's what makes this remarkable. This whole place is, it's a small town, but it's definitely not small-minded. It's expansive, very connected, and definitely during COVID, we saw that what we're sitting here doing right now connects us to the globe.
Yes.
So it used to be maybe rural was seen as like, wasn't going to have as much impact, but that's just not the case anymore because of the technology that we have.
Exactly. Like, yes. The other thing that I will say is I love the words that you just say. We are small community, but not small-minded. When our 3 older kids, 2 kids we have now still are in junior high and high school, so they have a little bit time to go. But our 3 older kids have shared with their contemporaries as they have gone through universities. And they were amazed. There's contemporaries who grew up in Chicago, New York City, and other places that much more metropolitan areas are amazed at the experience of our kids growing up in rural America. Because it's not, everybody thinks it's monolithic. It's not monolithic at all. It's way more experience. It's way more getting your hands on something. It's way more developing relationships with young, old, different shades of skin. And it is just, I am so proud to be part of rural America, and especially our small community of Greenville. It's been just a blessing.
Yeah, we bring people from around the globe. We have 30% diversity on our campus. I think that helps the entire community. And I had the same experience. I went to the University of Illinois after attending Greenville, and Alex Schmidt actually went before me to the law school, and they love Greenville University grads because we're very well prepared.
Yes.
And able to jump right in at a doctorate level. So
very good.
Great to see. So, well, I don't know. Are there any like closing comments that you have, Jerry? Just words of wisdom to impart, to our students. And
so I was my wife Sherry and I were privileged to speak at one of Breck Nelson's management classes. And so we were able to spend an evening with the business students. And then later in the semester, I was able to sit and listen to the senior projects that were presented as they were presenting senior projects. Sorry, I repeated that, but anyway. what I was so blown away by was, first off, the diversity of the presenters and the diversity of the students from all over Central America, Africa, even in the United States, different parts of the country here, and then the uniqueness of each experience and how that student used their home, wherever it was across the world, to have an anchor to what they were wanting to do, but yet looking at it as a worldview, as looking at their project as something that is that spans the globe. And I think we sat and listened to almost 20 of them that night, and it was an amazing experience for me to listen to what's being taught, what's being produced at Greenville University. And I was literally like, wow, what a privilege to live in a small rural town with all this diversity and all this thought and all of this, investigation going on. And I was just like, man, I'm grateful. So
That's really cool. I mean, it
yeah.
is a global impact. I mean, that's what we don't even realize, the world's kind of at your fingertips here. And it's remarkable to hear from our students, and then just to see that light go out across the globe, literally.
Yes.
And of
Yes.
course, all of it for Christ-like character and service. And I know you and Sherry are very serious about your faith, have really
Yes.
shown light into the community and in your family's lives. And so, yeah, that's what we want to see. Is we really believe that, salt's not meant to stay in the shaker, and you're not supposed to, put a light under a bushel. So we really want it to go out. And I know you all are doing that too.
Love that. It's a calling worth living, isn't it, Suzanne?
Absolutely.